Hello, check out the halo I got. That's a proper R&P look, R&P teacher look. Now, we're going to do abortion for Christianity and Buddhism, and let's see if we can do it in less than 7 minutes, yeah? You can always pause the video if you want to. Question one is, what is an abortion? An abortion is the deliberate termination of a pregnancy by removing the fetus or embryo. Now, I have also next to that written what is an abortion not. And you can write that down, and then you can also make sure that you get that down so it's very easy to understand. The wrong definition is deliberate killing of a baby. And I'll just put some words on why that is. You cannot write killing because killing in England is illegal and termination is not. It's a legal reason. The second reason is when a fetus is born, it changes status to a baby. And a fetus, an embryo, you can get rid of. But when it's a baby, you got human rights. So maybe you can make a little note of that so you can understand the difference between what an abortion is and what it isn't, and what implications it has. Now, the next question is, how many abortions were there in England and Wales in 2014? You can look this up if you like, or I'll give you the answer. The answer is 184,571. And since 2014, it's actually gone up considerably, but that's a number that is in your book. The question 4 is the legal position. When did abortion becomes illegal? And that was in 1967, I believe it was. And the next question is, how many weeks pregnant can you be and still be allowed to have an abortion? That is 24 weeks. Now, and who and how many must agree? You need 2 doctors to agree to this. Having said that, I'll come back to it in a minute, okay? Let's go to question 5. What conditions can allow for an abortion? And there's 3 conditions. If the woman's life is in danger, then you can have an abortion. Or if the baby is going to be severely disabled, you can have an abortion. Or if there is an existing family which relies on the mother's for the mother's provision. So if there's someone relying on the mother, and then another baby would hinder the survival of that person, that would also allow one. Now, there's a second question there. It says, highlight 2 conditions where there's no time limit for when you can have an abortion. And those 2 is, the first 2 I mentioned, if the woman's life is in danger, or if there's severe disability of the baby. For those 2 reasons, you can actually have an abortion all the way up, right up till the baby's born. But after 24 weeks, you'll need a court order. But there's no human rights for an unborn fetus because it's not a human. So that's it. Now let's go into next question here if we can. And the next question here if we can is what does it mean to say that man is made in the image of God? And that the man made in the image of God is meant to be different from humans. We know right from wrong, whereas animals only work on instinct, and we have a soul. Those are 2 things. So we know right from wrong, where animals work on instinct, and animals and humans have a soul. The second question is, what is other words for sanctity of life? Sanctity of life is that it's sacred. Another word for that is that sanctity of life, in other words, is sacred, holy, set apart, or I can't remember anymore. But set apart is that it's special, it's put aside. So then you have some denominational views. They're the Roman Catholics or the evangelical Christians, and just think about they're very strict, and they basically believe life begins at conception. You get a soul at conception. Your life is sacred, set apart, holy. And they basically do not follow the law of the land, and they believe that abortion is murder. Thou shalt not murder. And that's for Roman Catholics and evangelical Christians. The Church of England and the Methodists are different. They believe in the law of the land. So if they believe in England where abortion is legal, then they also believe it's legal. It doesn't mean they like it. It's a bad choice, but it's a lesser of two evils. And they believe in situations such as rape, severe disability, or even if you're going to be extremely poor, then you can have an abortion. So that's quite controversial. But then that's what they say. So they don't like it, but in some situations they can have it. Because Jesus said you should live life to the full. I'm not sure if that was what God meant, Jesus meant, but that's what they say anyway. Now then there's arguments for and against abortion. There's pro-life. Pro-life is the Roman Catholic. I've written pro-life. Pro-life is, so let's do the first one, sorry. Pro-choice. Pro-choice is the women's life comes first. So that you have actual life, and the other one is only a potential life. Then there is that we think that life starts at birth, and it is cruel to bring in a severely disabled child into the world. That's some of the reasons that pro-choice people would see. Pro-life, on the other side, they'll say the SPUC, the Society for Protection of Unborn Children. That's a big thing. They'll say that they have their own DNA. At conception, you don't have your mother's DNA, you don't have your dad's DNA, you have your own DNA. And because of that, you're special. Exodus 20:13 says, thou shalt not murder. And handicapped people have also a good life. And then they say that you can have an adoption. And finally, they say that abortion, if you have an abortion, often leads to depression. So one thing is you are pregnant, but if you don't get rid of it, it might also lead to depression. Giving your child away adoption can also lead to depression, but that's another side of the story. And then there's abortion and Buddhism. Number 10. How does first moral precept teach Buddhism? And the first moral precept is the non-harm principle, and that's also named ahimsa. So that means non-violence. 11. When does conscience begin? Give two options. There is one option is that conscience begins at birth, so you are aware of the world. Wrong. Some people say that conscience begins at conception. That's when you're conscious. Others, this is the second one, believes that it never begins. It's just an unbroken flow from life to life. So I was saying that I think Theravada Buddhists would probably go for the first one, that life begins conception. And Mahayana believes that consciousness never ends, it just continues from life to life. Why is abortion seen as unskillful? Number 12. And that is because it does not lead to happiness, wisdom, or compassion of enlightenment. So those things, because it does not lead to happiness, because it does not lead to wisdom, because it does not lead to compassion of enlightenment, then it's seen as unskillful. And that is a good answer. Are the 5 moral precepts guidelines or commandments? They are guidelines. You have to work out for yourself what to do. And in which circumstances a Buddhist believe abortion is okay? That is if you're born likely to be born with serious disability, or the other mother already has several children so you can't hardly afford it, or if the child has a poor quality of life as a result of that. So that's very much in line with the Church of England or Methodist. And then 15, a Buddhist should judge each situation on its own merits, which means there's no rules. It's always about it should be done situationally. But at the end of the day, it is the mother who should decide. However, they will sometimes be guided by social norms in the various countries they're in. But in the day, it should be the mother's decide. So there we are. That was 10 minutes and 18 seconds. So yeah, I better have my halo look again. There we are. Thank you very much. Bye bye.